Sairam everyone. Just to recollect where we are in the study of Sathya Sai Vahini, we have been studying the 10th chapter of Sathya Sai Vahini, where Swami is talking about various types of yogas. The Swami had covered the Karma Yoga first, and now Swami is telling on the Bhakti Yoga. I think last week we read about Bhakti Yoga, where Swami is talking about uh, the love flowing from the Lord within one to the Lord in others. As a real love, a real devotee bhakti yogi will consider that he is serving the Lord even when he or she serves others. And we also talked about what is the defect in serving others and things like that. I think one of the questions which was posed by Kalyani at the end, which I don't think we sufficiently discussed. So I think the question, I think maybe no one else spoke, so I also didn't properly catch the question. The question was that when others are doing a lot of good to us, and we may have a positive feeling towards that, um, can we say that we are loving the Lord in that person, or the Lord, or our feeling good about that person? Such a person is, would it be considered love for the Lord? And I think that's the question. I hope Kalyani have paraphrased that question, because I happened to listen to the recording and I realized that was your question, and I don't think that was addressed.
Yes, thank you, Uncle.
Yeah, and I think her question was, how do we deal with that situation? Do we should we show gratitude to that person, or would that mean that the Lord, we are not thinking of the Lord, but personal respect, gratitude to an individual? How do we express love toward God, toward the Lord at such situations? What does it mean we ignore that person and then say, we will show love somewhere else? Things like that. I think, it opens up a variety of things. So I think I will just post that question. Maybe we'll just read the slide once more, again, what we read last week, and then we can see what others have to say. Saira.
The Bhakti Yoga will teach such people the path of love. It will tell them not to love with a view to gain profit. Love all as you love yourselves. No harm can come to you then. It will only spread joy and happiness to all. God is present in all beings as love. So the love is directed to and accepted by not the individual, but by God who is resident there. The seeker of God who relies on the path of devotion and dedication soon becomes aware of this fact. Some love God as the mother, some others as the father, and some love God as dearest and closest friend. There are others who regard God as the beloved, the only desired goal. They all endeavor to merge their love with the ocean of love that God is. Wherever love is evident, take it that it is God's own love. God is the greatest lover of mankind. Therefore, when anyone decides to serve man whom he loves, God showers grace in plenty. When the human heart melts at the suffering of others and expands as a result of that sympathy, believe that God is present there. That is the sign of the validity of the path of devotion, the Bhakti Yoga.
Thank you very much, Kalyani. So Sairam, everyone. We read what we discussed last week. And so one of the outstanding questions which was not fully addressed, which I mentioned. If anyone would like to discuss any of the points which we have read, or to have a question for has an answer for the question which was posed, it'll be nice. And the floor, please. Maybe I will sort of give some specific instance. I think that may also help. For example, our mother or father or even teacher has maybe they're doing a lot of good things to us, have done many selfless things to us. When we show our gratitude to any of them, mother or father, uh, how do we bring God and connect that with that gratitude? Is it just personal physical attachment to them, or how do we make it really a devotion? I think that's the question. If anyone would like to answer that, it'll be very nice. Yes, Sairam Sai Satish, please go ahead.
Param, just going with what Swami would always say, that Sarva Jiva Namaskaram Keshavam Pratigacchati, Sarva Jiva Tiraskaram Keshavam Pratigacchati. So any offering of salutation, expression of gratitude, and all of that ultimately goes to the indweller in that person. So no doubt, in terms of expressing gratitude, love, and all of that is done externally, and the recipient also from an external framework, it appears that we are doing it to the Lord. But then ultimately, going through all that we are studying, we know that it is the Swami on the inside who is receiving. But then it also comes down to how do we essence it? How do we put it into practice? And that's where, even if for a second we are able to feel that Swami, it is for you that I'm offering this, or I'm showing that, it's more again the same thing of Abhyasa Yoga. So we do that as a practice. We try to bring to mind actually who is the one who's doing it and who is receiving it. And I think with time, and repeated abhyasa or sadhana, that should essentially manifest into something that is more involuntary than a voluntary action. So I'll stop here, Saram.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Yes, Sanjay, please go ahead.
Saram, or no, if it's okay, could Kalyani again ask the question? If it's okay to just repeat that.
Sairam Kalyani.
Saira, I guess the question was like when there's a relationship where maybe you're not getting something out of it, or it's a difficult relationship, then if you feel some sort of love or something towards that person, you might be able to more easily tell that this is more, of a divine love, or maybe like something from God. But when a relationship with a person is good, and you know you're getting a lot, you're benefiting a lot from that person, and um, you feel love towards that person, how do you know that love is not just because of all the other things, the external things that are you're benefiting from, that you're actually loving the God in that person?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll take a stab at it just based on what Swami has said here. I think these two lines are worth pondering over. The second and the third line. I don't know if it's similar in Telugu. Correct me if I'm wrong. It will tell them not to love with a view to gain profit. That's the first line. And the second line is love all as you love yourselves. I think oftentimes we tend to overestimate the quality of our love. Swami has very clearly said in many places, even the love of a mother for a child is based on attachment. Because if it weren't, she would equally love the neighbor's child or a child in the neighborhood equitably, right? So I think it is very hard for us to gauge um, the quality of our love, being that um, it is coming from us as a subject. But at the same time, we will also know if our love is without duality when the other person, if we are not gaining profit from it. That's an easy, the first part of the question, it's kind of easy to know that we are working towards loving the person even if you're not gaining profit. That's a good step in the right direction. But if you're benefiting from the person, if you're gaining profit from the other person, including a child's love for the mother, there is some sense of profit there. The mother is feeding you, the mother is providing security, the guru is providing knowledge, wisdom in this world. There is some inherent profit in that transaction, because of which there is a sense of gratitude that emanates from us naturally. But if the person is not kind to us, or not, if we are not gaining profit, and then if we are still able to love, yes, that's a good step. Now, if we're gaining profit and we are showing love, and if that profit slightly diminishes at a later stage, we can judge our own quality of love. Is it still there? Is it still consistent? Or am I now all of a sudden not feeling like spending time with that person or talking to that person? We can easily evaluate and judge for ourselves if um, that was the love was without duality, meaning the love was not reciprocal, it did not have any reciprocity. But I think these two lines, see, even when we say love God, this line is very interesting here. Love all as you love yourselves. Do we love God as ourselves? Or are we loving God for a profit, to gain something from him or her? Are we loving, do we ever stop loving ourselves? Whatever we have done, even I might have made a mistake yesterday, I might regret about what I did yesterday, but do we ever stop loving ourselves? And to imagine to be able to love another person that way, that is the quality of non-dual love. Anyway, I'll stop there.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thanks for explaining. I think Kalyani is coming from an angle, she doesn't want to wait till that if it's too late by then. Okay. Before we get to that point, is there a way we can ensure that we are loving God even in such a relationship? Yeah, it is true, when at the end, we can question ourselves and or find that, maybe we did not properly cultivate the love for God, because these are potential trap situations. And so I think Kalyani is also thinking, what can we do beforehand? Is there something in our relationship in that kind of a positive situation? How can we ensure that we love only God?
So when the other person, no, yeah. So when the other person is nice to us, how do we make sure we are loving the God in that person, but not that
Exactly.
person, right?
Exactly. Later on, of course, we will come to know definitely, okay, when things go wrong. But when things are right, seemingly right, how do we ensure that, we are doing the right thing?
See, okay, I'll add one more thing and I'll stop here. Sorry.
No problem, no problem.
I think that gain profit, what Swami says here, right? See, if we did not notice the profit, would we have would we be still loving to that person? If we are, if we were not at all cognizant of that profit that we have gained from that relationship, the fact that we notice the profit, it makes it very hard. May I don't know if that makes sense, but the moment we see some gain in it, then it is no longer loving ourselves, loving the other person is loving ourselves, which is loving God. Yeah, but I think one can work at it. One can, I mean, that's the whole journey. One can work at it. I think Swami has given a few tech, uh, a few. Well, no, I don't think Swami's techniques are for this latter case. It's for the previous case to see the good in the other person, even if they're not good to you, right? So yeah, I'll
Yeah.
stop here.
Okay, thanks. Sairam, Sister Shivani, please go ahead.
Can you just rephrase the question one more time, please?
Okay. The question is, sister, okay, I will put it this way. For example, somebody is doing something very beneficial to you. Okay. Let's even leave the worldly thing out. Okay. Worldly profits out. Somebody is helping you spiritually. Okay. Very, very positive. And then you develop some level of gratitude or love for that person. It's all spiritual. If you are going to call it spiritual profit. Okay. So you develop a positive feeling towards an individual. Okay. So in such a situation, how do we know that our positive feeling towards that individual is for the positive feeling toward that Lord within that person, or is it positive feeling toward the individual per se at the physical level? And how do we distinguish and how do we make sure that our love, which is being expressed, is only for the Lord? Okay, how do we ensure that is, I think that's the way I understand. I don't know, Kalyani can correct me. But I think Purti raised her hand and put it down.
Sairamana. I think, yeah, in this journey, it does happen that when we listen to stories of Bhagwan, we get some direction. What I think is towards that individual or maybe towards that Swami, we ourselves will understand that our spiritual connection with Swami is growing day by day. So it will be very evident that whether my love is towards that individual or whether my uh, connection to Swami, like with everybody, is growing. So I think that will be very evident.
Thank you very much. Yes, Sister Shivani.
I'll try to attempt. My understanding is, what we have been learning, that we all are spark of that one divinity, of our Bhagawan. So I believe once we have that, once we understand that thoroughly and believe in that, so in that case, whether somebody is doing good to us or not going good to us, if you have that consistent same love, you love person. Some people are troublesome. You might not hate them, you might distance them, but you're not the hatred is disliking is not there. You might distance because that may disturb your spiritual growth, or disturb your mind. So you distance, but you don't hate the person, don't dislike the person. I think then you can think that you are start seeing Bhagavan in everyone. Now, I mean, once we understand that, then we won't see whether somebody is doing good to us, bad to us, because you understood the core of our existence, the core of everybody. Then we don't see the superficial, the outer thing. We just start seeing, oh, this person is everybody's his spark, right? So you just love. You don't even might. Sometimes you might not even talk to somebody. You just love them, their existence. Sayra.
Sairam Sita, thank you very much. Anyone else would like to comment and add to whatever has already been discussed?
So, brother, even the Guru Shishya relationship,
Yes.
as spoken by Sanjay and others, it is not a pure love, not pure interaction, because some benefit is derived by the Shishya student. So the student shows reverence to him. So it is not connected to God. That respect and reverence to the Guru is not directly directed. The love is not directed to God. So I think this is the place where the question is. So as we so until we progress to a high level of understanding the existence of one being, until such time we cannot have a connection equal. The respect for the Guru cannot be taken as a love for the Lord. So we have to develop spiritually until such time it is thankful, being gratitude that person, being gratitude, and I think I have no words actually. Okay, go ahead, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Yes, Sister Shilpa, please go ahead.
Sairam, the purpose should be pure. First thing, love should be selfless, but there shouldn't be an ego. If we realize that I am doing something, I am doing that seva, then there will be trouble. It happened with me too. Like I did not understand to take help for my daughter or no, because my daughter is in medical field and something that we did not understand how to uh, uh, take help. So one of the elder of our center told me, Sipa, you are doing selfless services, okay, but there should not be an ego. If your daughter gets that guidance and become a good doctor and serve country, what's wrong in that? You are thinking because you are practicing I. I don't know if I'm making sense by this sharing or no, Saira.
Thank you very much, sister. Yes, Purti.
Sairaman, I just have another question to this. Uh, so, in terms of you mentioned about spirituality, does that would also be included in transactional thing? For example,
Yes,
suppo-
yes, Purti.
so
You hit the
okay.
nail on the head. Yes.
So in my case, not just sharing, in terms of when we grew up together, in Balvikas, and also we did have like spiritual inclination towards Swami. Everybody, each one of us used to discuss, we'll get married to a Sai devotee, the that ways things will be better, and you'll improve, or you'll be on the track. But reading this, I am just so maybe you can just elaborate a little bit on this. Thank you.
Saira. That's a very good question for you opening up. How do we know someone is a Sai devotee? I think that's the next question. But anyway, I will go to Sister Vani. Please, Sister Vani.
Sairam, brother, I'm just thinking, if we are continue to expect that favor from that person and starting to develop some attachment towards, it doesn't have to be, romantic or anything, but just, starting to develop some attachment, then we know we starting that at a body conscious level as opposed to spiritual level. So, there is a way to distinguish if that is going into a more body attachment level. So that's what I just wanted to add.
Thank you, Sister Vani. Purti, you have anything more to say, or?
Sorry,
Okay.
Anand, sorry.
No problem. Thank you very much. So maybe I will just add thank to everyone, whatever others have said. Kalyani, it's a very, very good question. I think that we should recognize the fact that as long as we are human and we have worldly attachments, in general, there's a possibility any feeling which we have, positive or negative, will have similar tendencies in every case possible. So I think the only way we can get out of this is to cut out our worldly attachment to the world in general. Because every positive or negative feeling we have to this world of all the people who we come into contact, there will be a sense of attachment in everything, I think, which has been touched upon by everyone. So I will just take this to Swami himself. We have devotion for Swami. Is that worldly or is it devotion? I think that question, if we can answer, then everything else falls into place. Because if we love Swami for our own worldly success or anything like that, gains, uttarottara, that's the word I think we discussed last week. That which follows our devotional services, if we are attached to those, definitely any feeling which we have to anyone else in this world also has it. We can give some examples which we have seen in our own lifetime in the past 15 years. All those who were attached to Swami at a physical level, when Swami's physical form disappeared, they wanted an alternate. They wanted a substitute. They went after people who seemed to be materializing vibhuti. They went after people who are building hospitals. They went after people who are establishing schools. And they are falling down at their feet. That means they are still dealing with the Lord at the physical level. Swami himself tested everyone. Then there are people who want, see, sometimes you go to a center and you like everyone. And then even if everyone leaves Swami or even leaves Prashant and Nilayam, we are with them. We rather forego Prashant and Nilayam and we would be with the people with whom we were. The best example for this is Bharata. Bharata was a great soul, a divine being. He loved his mother, he respected his mother, respected the father and everything. But the way they treated Rama decided how right away it changed. He realized if they want to give up Rama, I don't have anything to do with that. That means all along his love was for the Rama. All along, his love was for the Lord. So I think ultimately it all depends on how, whatever relationship we build with Swami will determine whether our love is defective or not. Whether our love is towards the Lord in beyond the name and form, which is what Swami says. Then even when the body drops, we are still at the same place. Even with the people with whom we were moving around, if they falter also, we will still be connected. And I think that is the test. Whether we are attached to people or we are attached to the Lord. There are people who are going to other places, other nilayams which are set up, rather than Prashanti Nilayam. And they will say we are making Prashanti Nilayam everywhere. But unfortunately, they don't feel that Prashanti Nilayam is Prashanti Nilayam. See, these are convoluted philosophies sometimes we develop because of our worldly attachment. So I think being vigilant about it, being vigilant even with Swami. When we pray, when we ask Swami, I have this problem, can you solve this problem for me? I have financial difficulties. If we are praying for that and then if we think that is devotion, then it's a big problem. I think we should just test ourselves with that itself. And when we clean that, our relationship with Swami, all the other relationships will automatically be fixed. I think that's my understanding. I hope, I don't know whether I answered your question or not, but it triggered a series of thoughts. So I thought I will share because it's very, very valid question you asked. And whether we have physical attachments are causing us problem or are we really attached to the Lord? And I think it should be, sometimes people are attached to a building. Sometimes people are attached to a center. Things like that, because it is all physical worldly attachments. Ultimately, Meera had to leave the temple which was built for Krishna and left for Mathura. So there are devotees, every devotee has come across this, they've struggled with it and they have found the solution. And I think this ultimate solution is our relationship with the Lord. If it is for worldly success, worldly benefits, then we will fall, is my understanding. So I think we should be vigilant with our relationship with the Lord. I hope that sort of also complements whatever others have said, Saira.
Sorry, Uncle, just to follow up on that, so if we have a relationship with God and we feel that, when we connect to Swami, through his discourses or through study circles or bhajans, it helps us feel, it helps us feel better. It elevates us. It, feels like our mind is being purified and feels as if we can cope with life better. Like, is that even a profit that we're looking for? Like, is that also looking for profit?
I think the question is seeking the Lord's grace also is a profit? Okay, I think something like that I will put it. If you're able to feel the Lord's presence, is that also a profit? Is I think the question you're asking. Because each of these activities make us feel good. Okay, I will pose the question to everyone here. Is that also a profit which we are seeking through all these sadhanas?
I think if that prophet will liberate us, like Parikshit, right? He was listening to Krishna's leelas and all of that, and he was liberated. So I guess Swami has given all these things. Yes, if you can listen, and as far as those thoughts, if every time we are connected with him, to me, I think it's fine. This is what he has given. You know what? My discourses, my bhajans, my pictures, my leelas, my miracles, whatever keep you connected with me constantly, 24/7. Yes, we can say it's profit, but I see it's a connection, communication. Like there's no disturbance in that. If that communication is there 24/7, that's what Parikshit did too. I mean, listening to his leelas and got liberated. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, sister. Yes, Sai Satish.
Ramana. So initially, of course, it starts on that mood. So sadhana itself has dana as part of it. So it is, whether we call it spiritual wealth or mental peace, it starts on that note of dhana, then it becomes sadhana, and what is left is sa. So I would go more on that note that it starts on uh, wanting to gain something, and then in the process of gaining, slowly realize that you have to give, and then what is left behind is only giving. So I would say that it's a journey that a person goes through. It starts on that mode because every time we want to feel that peace, we want to listen. So in one sense, it stands as a small I gaining, but I think essentially keep scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing, and the small I vanishes. So what's left is ultimately on the higher end of that part of yeah, just giving. But I'll stop here, Sarah.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Yes, Sister Vani.
I was just thinking similarly about the Sai Satish said. Now, when we are at that Dvaitic stage, we're thinking of those gains of, Swami's grace and experience and his love for us. But when we progress towards Advaitam, when we become one, wanted to become one with that at that level, there won't be, because we are one with Swami. So there isn't any distinction of a gain or a benefit or experience because we are that. But we have a way to go, of course.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you. Anyone else has something to say? Yes,
Sai
yes, Professor.
Actually, the answers, Vani and Brother Sadish, I can't imagine if I am in the world or in heaven, So, such a philosophically high truths are spoken here. So, expecting grace from, say, your God, maybe not good actually, but the text says that with the grace of God only we can understand that I am him, or I am he, or I am one with him. To that, scriptures say we need the grace of God. So, for that purpose, I cannot say expecting grace for self awakening is to say requiring grace for self awakening is not wrong. According to the scriptures. So as Vani said, then when we feel we are with him, or we are one together with him, in that case, only service is undertaken the needy people who need a service. No? So if our total activities are focused on serving the mankind or animal kind anyway. So until such time, we cannot say that we are one with God. That's what I feel. I will stop with this one.
Thank you, Brother Sivadas. Anyone else? So maybe I'll summarize, Kalyani. See, there are 4 Purusharthas which are mentioned for man. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Okay, Swami has already spoken in great length about these four Purusharthas. So human beings are always seeking something which cannot be it's unavoidable. But the highest goal, which the Bharatiya Paramartha, the Sathya Sai Vahini itself, is the originally Swami named it as Bharatiya Paramartha Vahini. Paramartha means it can mean ultimate goal. It also can mean ultimate wealth also. So the thing is, the distinction between transactional, which relates to the world, which is transient or which changes, rather than that, it's always good to seek something which is permanent. Nitya, Vastu, or Swami would say permanent thing. So moksha is a goal also. And Swami says the karma should be only for moksha. The karma should not be for the world. The karma should not be for artha. Okay. Dharma artha should be related to dharma. And karma, we should have only focused on the moksha. So that is a goal which Vedas, Sanatana Dharma has laid down. So I think even though it is also, if you want to call it a transaction, it is not a transaction because once you gain it, it's a permanent transaction. Generally, transactions are temporary. You have to have multiple transactions. Whereas this is one transaction, it's a once only it happens. Once it happens, it happened. So that's why it doesn't fall under the categories of transactions. So, but it's a permanent goal. It's a supreme goal. Uh, it's a goal which is sanctioned, even if we desire it, is my understanding. Otherwise, we'll continue to discuss this. The yogi is trying to merge with the Lord. That merger, if it's a desire, it's okay. I think it's my understanding. So I think others have amply, clearly discussed it. So I hope with that we will bring this discussion to some level of conclusion. I hope there are no follow-up questions from you. I think there's one question which Purti asked, which is, we should find another devotee, Sai devotee. See, it is okay to say people who are engaged in the same sadhana activities is a good thing. But to consider that somebody is a devotee is the ultimate presumption on our part because we ourselves don't know whether we are good devotees. So that's so then when we don't know whether we are good devotees, it's sometimes it is delusion which can say somebody else is also a good devotee. So because sometimes our personal attractions will mask it to be very spiritual. Okay, and that's a very slippery slope, is my understanding. I hope that answers your question. If it's anyone, yes, Sister Aruna.
Sainam, brother. So, after listening all these things, I'm just thinking, what is really then God grace? What is that God grace that we had to look for? So, is that something, uh, you know, we think on God grace is a worldly way of something, we are look for something, but it's beyond that, right? I'm trying to understand that point because, thinking something to get, receive also, or we think something we are getting is a grace, right? But I I don't think, based on the discussion, that grace is not that. So, what is really that grace means? Is that something you can clarify that? Please, thank you, Sarah.
Sairam, sister, I think this one of the sentences which we are reading here in the paragraph. Swami says, God is the great lover of mankind. Therefore, anyone who decides to serve man whom he loves, God showers grace in plenty. Now, Sister Aruna is asking, what is this grace God is showering? Anyone would like to discuss this based on what we read last week? Or yes,
Okay.
with us.
No, that grace is his health, the devotee's health, and the body fit, and his skills to serve mankind. Those blessings, that the anything that the devotee needs to progress further, that is what grace I understand.
Okay, thank you very much, Pratsudas. Just a question for you to ponder, brother. We want to do a lot of service, and so we think we need some money. So then we pray to God, if He gives more money, then I can do more seva.
No, I will not say that. No, I will not say that. I only say now, when we do sincere service, then God's grace is looking after his the limited well-being. That is his. His health, especially I am saying health, because without health he can progress towards God. Yeah, that's what I can limit. I can limit to that. Okay. Brother says,
Yes, thank you very much, brother. Yes, Sai Satish, please go ahead.
Saramana. So the grace is to think of him more and more. Because to think of him, he has to think of us. And that is where I think the same thing. I think we discussed this earlier. Yogasya Shemam. So the grace of the Lord will be where we are able to constantly think of him and grow more in that journey of Salokyam Samipyam. That part is what I'll say, Sarah.
Okay, thank you very much, Sai Satish. Yes, Purti.
And I just wanted to clarify if the translation Telugu version, where the statement is like, therefore, when anyone decides to serve man whom he loves, or is it whom God loves? God showers grace in plenty.
Yeah, I think he is in capital, so I think it's what God loves, is my understanding. But I think I will just read the Telugu also, because last time also Sanjay had asked us and we read that again. Swami, Auntie, from Anaga, Bhagavantude, Manavi Jatini Preminchu, Mahapurushudu. From there, actually, we can just read.
Okay. Anaga, Uttarottara, from there?
Anaga, Bhagavantude.
Where it is down.
Little after that, I think.
After that. Okay. I did. Where is it?
Okay, I think you can.
Yeah, you can read.
I will read, Auntie. So Kondaru Ishwarini Talliganu, Marikondaru.
That's
From there you read, Auntie.
కొందరు ఈశ్వరుని తల్లిగను మరికొందరు తండ్రిగను ఇంకా కొందరు మిత్రునిగను అతనే పతియగను గతిగను అన్ని విధముల ప్రేమించి అతని ప్రేమతో కలుపుదురు.
Okay, so the statement basically says some people treat God as mother, father, friend, as the Lord of a spouse, as the destination of the goal. In many different ways, they show their love towards the Lord, and they merge their love with God's love. Okay? Yes, Auntie, continue.
ప్రేమ ఎచట ఉన్నను అది అతడే.
Wherever there is love, there he is, that he is God.
అనగా భగవంతుడే మానవ జాతిని ప్రేమించు మహాపురుషుడు.
That means God alone is the great Purusha who loves the entire mankind.
ఒకడు వారికి ఉపకారము అనర్ప చూచునప్పుడు అప్పుడు అతడు తన ప్రేమామృతమును మానవ లోకమునకు ధారాళముగా పంచిపెట్టుచున్నాడు.
So when one wants to do something good, thinks of doing something good, then God, his premamrita, the nectar
ప్రేమ
of love, he spreads to the entire humankind in a very generous way.
హృదయము ఎప్పుడెప్పుడు ఉదారముగునో అప్పుడు అచ్చట ప్రసన్నుడై ఉండును.
Whenever the human heart is actually generous and noble, then God is present there in a pleasing manner.
ఇదియే భక్తి యోగం.
This is Bhakti Yoga. So Purti, just to clarify, God spreads his love. Whenever a person thinks of doing something good to somebody, God fully lets the love flow from him. Is the sense okay? I think Sanjay had asked us to reread last week. I think Sanjay, you had something to say just now also, but
No, just wanted to reiterate that sentence, God showers grace in plenty, is not there in Telugu. It's Premamrutam, right? It's
Exactly.
shower of love.
Shower of
Yes.
It's not
It is good.
the
Yes.
grace is actually shower of love.
ప్రేమామృతం.
Yes.
Premamrutam, yes. Because it's good to read that again here, because there's this misconception, because Swami many a times has said, my grace is always there, like the sun that is shining on everything. It is our ignorance that covers the light from hitting us. And it's good to reread that again, that in the Telugu it is not there.
In English it is not there.
Sorry, yeah.
The grace is not there in Telugu, but in English the love is not there. God showers his love, actually, is the better way to take. I think this is what Sai Satish mentioned, that we will be able to think of God more and more. Our love for God will grow. The real grace of the Lord is a growth of our love towards God. That we will be able to think of the Lord without any distraction in this world. That's the ultimate grace. Sister Aruna, I hope.
Yeah.
I think there is always a terrible misconception of how grace, so many times, for example, I wake up every morning and put my foot down from the bed, and I get up without even thinking twice and walk. Now, let us say, God forbid, I have a leg injury. I'm not able to get up and walk without crutches for 3 months or 6 months. And then one day after healing, I get up and I put my foot down and walk. Immediately we say, oh, by Swami's grace, I was able to get up and walk. We did not recognize my ability to get up and walk for, all my life, until the accident happened, and then it healed. And now all of a sudden we invoke Swami's grace here. So it's almost, in several parts in scriptures also, it's grace is just our awakening to the ever-existent love of God for us. It is not something transactional. Oh, I did this service, so I earned grace. I did this seva, I did earn grace. I did this sadhana, I earned grace. It is rather an opening, our eyes opening to the ever-present grace of God that is constantly nudging us, pushing us on the spiritual path. Not for material gains, not for anything that's happening in the material world, but much more towards the spiritual path. As long as we are able to open our eyes to see that happening, that is just the recognition of his ever-present grace. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sanjay. Yes, Sister Aruna.
Saram, brother, it's very nice. Now we put just an understanding the grace. It's a grace. It's a real grace is understanding the Lord, or connecting more towards the Lord. With everything that we do is the grace. So thank you so much. I got the clarity on that. Thank you, Saya.
Sister. Thank
Can
you.
I add
Yeah.
something here, brother? As you just said a while ago about the money as well. If you want to do seva and asking Bhagwan to give us money for so this, it can happen. It's a personal experience where you know, where if you have a good intention to serve and you somehow, because of monetary whatever reason you can, but you have a good intention and you ask, I want to serve, this is my desire to serve people, he will grant that grace to give you money to serve others. I think that is so. When you asked that question, I was pondering on that. I said, yes, he can. He can give you, as far as you have a good intention to serve others and you can't, because of course your financials, whatever it is, and you said, Bhagwan, at this time I can't, but I want to. He will grant you, but he wants you to come out of it, that incident, to learn something and more wiser and more spiritual.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. So does it, I think I will flip that question a bit. Does it mean if people who didn't get money or were suffering from financial troubles, that means there's no grace flowing to them?
No, of course, of course. I mean, if we have learned about prarabdha and all of that, this is all of our karmas from lots, many birth and all of those things. We have to live with that. But those who are in the capacity to serve others, of course, they should. And that's what I think that's how the society balance good, bad. Everything has to, if good has to exist, bad has to exist as well. So coming back to your question, if people, those who they don't have grace, of course they have grace. They are in a human body, they have some grace on Bhagwan, but they have to go through some trouble because of their whatever they have done. And the only grace is if they can pray to him that in this birth, grant me so that I can see you, I can feel you, I can understand. No, not understand. We can't understand Bhagwan. Yeah, just love him. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you, sister. Yes, Brother Sivadas, please go ahead.
No. No. So I was thinking, yeah, Brother Sanjay's answer was very good. And that is actually the truth also. But what I feel was that I won't say it is very below the higher level, but God made you to do a particular service. Okay, so you never expected and you never planned, and all of a sudden it is thrust on you, and you too feel that, oh yeah, it should be done, and you go ahead and you made many people happy. But it is not you, that the person who did the work is not you. It is he. And the devotee understand it is he who urged him to do that, and it was so successful, and many people are happy and benefited towards spiritually. That is what I wanted to say. So that is the thing. Then in the God showers grace, I said, because you feel that it is God prompted you to do that. Is it this? I will stop with that. But others can say whether you had experience like that. You should have had experience, I think. Thank you, Sayana.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Yes, Sister Aruna.
Saya, brother, now the thing is, desire to serve, is it the right thing to think like that?
What was the question? Desire to serve is the right thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Desire to serve.
Okay, sisters, post a question. Everyone can think. I think Purti had a hand up, but she put it down.
No, and I had a question, but we can, that's next question. Maybe we can discuss this first.
Okay. So I think while everyone is thinking, I will go back to the previous discussion which Prasiddhas also mentioned. See, the thing is, the best example for this is Kunti. Kunti tells Krishna, Krishna, give me all difficulties so I can think of you. Then Krishna asks her, why are you saying so? Then she tells Krishna, Krishna, when I was a queen, oh, I did all good things only, all dharmic things. I brought up my children in the best way possible. They were all very dharmic individuals. They were also doing good. But I never thought of you. I started thinking of you when my children were banished into the forest from this kingdom. That is when I really started thinking of you. Whenever I had all things, I really thought very highly of myself. See, here we should understand it's not that Kunti didn't lack devotion. She was a very devout lady. She could pray and everyone came, all the lords came and blessed her with children. So it is not that she was lacking devotion, which most people have maybe. But she felt that was not good enough. She felt, give me trouble, so I will only think of you. I think her understanding of real grace was not being able to think of God. So that's why she asks this question, which is again what Swami has told. So that sort of goes into Sister Aruna's question, is should we desire to do seva?
I think that's the only purpose of life. In my understanding, I'm so sorry. But that's the only purpose of our existence.
To do seva, sister?
Yeah, I mean, you can seva, it's not just to serve food or seva. A couple weeks ago, I think we were discussing about it. You were saying Swami has said that it should increase from 50, and I'm trying, so you can't say you didn't do because I'm working on that. 50% and it should root to 80%. I mean, that's what I understood. Take away was how every
Sister.
day, yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe I will elaborate because I think I'm the one who said this. So, see, this 50%, I think today we at our center also we discussed this. See, what Swami says is a devotee sadhana starts when whatever we have, so that's from our starting point. 50% should be for ourselves, 50% for the society. Okay. That is the basic minimum where sadhana starts. That is a requirement.
Right.
But here, that is from a worldly perspective, dharma is to do that.
Okay.
Okay, we have not gone to moksha yet, sister. Okay, so but what we are discussing is about a bhakti yoga, a yogi who is, so from there, from that practicing dharma, how do we get to moksha? A yogi is someone who has merged in the Lord. Okay, so yes, we have to start. See, there, it is not we have to. If we make money, we should share half of it with everyone.
Right.
Okay, our time should be spent half for the world. Because that is Swami is trying to break us free from selfishness. Okay, that is only to break free from our selfishness that is told. But that cannot become the path of devotion or bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga is a little more than that. So this is basic requirement, 50-50.
Okay, got you.
Okay. Then Swami says, then we progress from there. What Swami says is, then we should, that the second 50, Swami says actually two things are included in that. One is serving the world, the other one, 25% is to do sadhana. He said study of Shastras. Then Swami says that should move to 25% world, 50% study, and 25% contemplation on the Lord. Then from there, Swami says, 50% of your time should be on study and 50% study should be on contemplation. This is like going to Vanaprastha. That means world has become zero by then.
Right.
Then 100% contemplation, which Swami calls as sannyasa. Okay. So the goal is to get there. A bhakti yogi is someone who is in total contemplation of the Lord, which is what Swami actually in Bhagavad Gita 12th chapter, Krishna is telling. Manmana bhava mat bhakto matyaji mam namaskuru. Like that he's saying, my devotee only thinks about me. Everything is for me. Then he says, if you are unable to do that, then he gives a series of things. Karma phalatyaga, karma, daiva prityartham, all that is coming. They are stepping stones to get to that point where God is all consuming of a person. Which is what Sister Arna was asking. It should be our desire. Depends where we want to start. If you're only serving ourselves, then we should start doing seva. Okay. Then once you think we are doing seva to the others, then we should think, are we serving others or are we serving the Lord? And I think that's what Swami has sort of covered in the Karma Yoga and then now in Bhakti Yoga. I think it's good that we are discussing because our misconceptions should, be clarified so that our sadhana itself becomes more fruitful. That's what
Thank you.
Swami has written it. So,
Thank you so much.
silence, sister. Swami will say, don't stay in the kindergarten.
Yeah.
Move on. Okay. But that means it's not that you give up, but you add something more fruitful towards the final goal, is my understanding. I hope. I don't know I don't know who. Someone else also raised their hand. I think maybe. Okay. So is any? Yes, Sai Satish, please go ahead.
Saravan, I was just going to say that desire to be desireless and ask so that you don't have to ask again. So that way we progress, then I think it's headed in the right direction. Saravan.
Sairam. Sublimating the desires we have and then becoming desireless is what I think Sai Satish is talking about. I think that is the next. I think we have sort of covered Bhakti Yoga and Swami is moving on to, I think, Raja Yoga, if I remember. Kalyani, you can move.
Now about Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga means the process of establishing mastery over the mind. One need not surrender one's intellect or follow the guidelines of religious leaders. There is no chance of being misled or mistaken. At every step, one has to rely on one's own intellect and experience as tested by one's self. Every being has three varieties of instruments for acquiring knowledge, and through that knowledge, wisdom. The first is instinctive. This is a very strong, active, and advanced in animals. This is the earliest, the lowest, and therefore the least beneficial of the three. The second is the rational, the instrument that seeks the cause and the effect thereof. This is most evident in man. The instinct can operate only in the limited field of senses and sensory experiences. In man, the instinctive knowledge is largely subordinated by the rational instruments. The limits of the rational are very thin. Reason can range over vastly wider fields. In spite of this, reason too is capable of very poor performance only. Its reach is restricted. It can proceed only a certain distance. It cannot venture further. The road that logic takes is not straight. It is more circular, returning again and again to the place from which it started.
Thank you, Kalyani. Auntie, shall we read the Telugu, please?
సైరా ఇక రాజయోగము.
Then, or now, Raja Yoga.
రాజయోగమనగా మనస్సును స్వాధీనపరుచుకొనుట.
Raja Yoga means to bring mind under one's control.
ఈ యోగములో స్వబుద్ధిని ఎందులోన పరిత్యజించు అవసరం ఉండదు.
In this yoga, there is no necessity for applying one's buddhi on giving up one's buddhi.
గివింగ్ అప్.
Giving up one's buddhi.
ఇతరుల చేత మోసపోవ అవసరము లేదు.
We don't need to be fooled by others.
మీ బుద్ధిని ఎట్టి మతాచార్యులకు కానీ స్వాధీనపరచ అవసరము లేదు.
There's no need for you to make your buddhi subservient to any teacher of religion.
ప్రతిదాని అందును మీరు మీ బుద్ధి మీదనే ఆధారపడి ఉండవలెను.
In everything, you can be dependent on your own buddhi.
సర్వభూతములకు 3 తెరుగుల జ్ఞానోపకరణములు కలవు.
In all the beings, there are 3 kinds of instrument of jnana.
మొదటి సహజ జ్ఞానం.
The first one is natural knowledge.
ఇది జంతువుల యందు అత్యంత పరిణత రూపమున కానవచ్చును.
This natural knowledge can be seen in every jantu means anything which is born.
Any animal instinct.
Yes. Everyone in the animal kingdom, you can say.
Yeah, animal kingdom. అత్యంత పరిణత రూపమున కానవచ్చును. It is an advanced stage.
So it can be, it's very developed also.
Developed. Parinata means developed, matured.
Yeah, matured, developed form.
జ్ఞానోపకరణముల అన్నిటిలో ఇది చాలా అట్టడుగుది.
So this is at the bottom of all the instruments of knowledge. So among the 3, this is at the bottom.
అనగా అధమమైనది.
That means it is the lowliest.
ఇక రెండవది సకారణ విచారణ శక్తి.
The second one is inquiry onto the cause of things.
ఇది మానవుల యందు పూర్ణ పరిణత రూపమున కానవచ్చును.
This can be seen in human beings in its full mature state.
సహజ జ్ఞానము మిక్కిలి పరిమితము.
The natural knowledge is
లిమిటెడ్.
very, very limited.
ఈ పరిమిత ఆవరణమునందే అది వర్తింపగలదు.
From this limited state, it can exist or it can function.
It can function. మానవునిలో ఈ సహజ జ్ఞానము చాలా వరకు మానవునిలో ఈ సహజ జ్ఞానము
in humankind, this natural knowledge
చాలా వరకు విచారణ శక్తి రూపం పొంది ఉండును.
It has taken on the inquiry ability also.
అతని కార్యాచరణ ఆవరణము కూడా
his practice of action and that which covers that also
విశాలత నొంది ఉండును.
So that limitations will be expanded to some extent.
కానీ ఈ విచారణ శక్తి కూడా మిక్కిలి అసమగ్ర ప్రభావము కలదియే.
Even this inquiry ability is also limited to a great extent.
అది కొంత దూరం వరకే పోవును.
That can only take you to some distance.
ఆ మీద పోజాలదు.
It cannot go beyond that point.
తార్కిక మార్గము తిన్నగా సాగక
without giving up the logical attitude. Sagakana.
It's not progressing.
Not progressing.
తార్కిక మార్గము తిన్నగా, it's not smoothly.
Without moving forward much.
వలయాకృతిని ధరించి
it turns around circular.
మరల మొదటికే వచ్చును.
So it comes back to the same point, starting point. So what Swami is saying is it doesn't go far. It's limited.
Yes.
It's a circular state. It comes back to the same point where you started off.
Yeah. మన విషయ జ్ఞానమునకు
Auntie, that's all. I think that's all we have read so far, I think.
Okay, sorry.
So we'll stop here.
Auntie,
So we'll open it up for discussion. Yes, Sanjay.
Difficult.
Tommy refers to 3. Is the next section containing the third one?
Yes. Yes, Sanjay.
Okay.
Should we read that?
I mean, I think it might. I mean, there's a lot to cover here, no doubt. But I think it's maybe good to know that in the context of when we're discussing this.
So we don't come back to the same point again and again, no?
Maybe, and yeah.
So Kalyani will read the next slide also, but we'll come back to this again for discussion purposes.
take, for example, our knowledge of the objective world, of the elements and energies that compose it. That which urges and prompts the objective world and its components does not stop with just this much. It absorbs also that which is immanent outside the objective world. And so the extent that reason can spread over and explain is as the consciousness that is imprisoned in the tiny molecule, as compared with the vastness and grandeur of the transcendent fullness. For us to go across the boundaries of reason into this full, free realm of intuition, certain spiritual exercises and disciplines are essential. They can be grouped under the name God-propelled jnana, the highest wisdom, for we have only 3 stages of jnana. Sahaja jnana, native, derived from the senses of action and perception. Yukti, yukta jnana, knowledge derived from the process of discrimination and evaluation. And Ishvara, Ishvarar prerita jnana.
Ishvara prerita jnana.
Ishwararpita prerita gnana.
No, Ishvara prerita.
Ishwara prerita gnana. Yes, Ishwara prerita gnana.
God-induced knowledge gained through grace by inner vision or intuition. The first of these is the knowledge possessed by animals. The second is the characteristic of man. And the third is the special treasure of high-souled individuals. It is possible for everyone to foster, cultivate, and develop the seedlings of this third jnana, for the capacity is latent in all.
Thank you very much, Kalyani. So we'll go back to the Auntie. Shall we read the Telugu also?
Previous this thing, Kalyani, can you go back to the? Yeah, here. I read up to that, and then should we read the further this thing, or can we do it for the next week? Because
I think, yes, I think I think we have enough in English, and we have read the Telugu this part. So the third one, Sanjay, is Ishvara Prerita Jnana.
Prerita Gnana. That
Okay,
we
so that is a final goal.
Final.
So let us discuss what Swami is talking about these two today. I guess we have about 1 minute.
Yeah.
So Swami is talking about instinct, intellect, and intuition. In simple words. So Swami has covered these 3. The intuition is the English word, Ishvara Prerita Jnana, which is the third one. But here Swami is talking about where can instinct take us and where can the intellectual analysis take us. So I will stop here. If anyone would like to discuss, Saira.
Sairam, Uncle, just that one sentence could you retranslate it? Atani karya charana avarana mukuda.
So karya charana avarana means that which covers his activities, that also can expand. So I think the way I understand is, Kalyani, avarana means that which covers. So the thing is, when it's limited, means something is restricting your ability to expand. So initially, the instinct is very, very narrow. It's very narrow and it's limited. Then what happens? Then it expands a little. That's what I understand. But I will ask Auntie to.
Can I just say this?
Yes, Auntie, please.
Circle. It is his knowledge. The avarana here means not that it's covered. It is his field of knowledge. His field of knowledge is limited. That we can say.
So there's a fence around it, something like that. There is something which blocks it from expanding. That Swami says is expanding little further. From instinct to intellect, it sort of expands little further, wider.
So the Karya Acharana is expanding?
No, Karya Acharana means performing of action.
Yeah.
Which is generally limited. That Avaranam is Vishala. That means Vishala means it becomes expansive.
Yeah.
Vishala Mondunu.
విశాలత నొందును
Vishala.
అతని కార్యాచరణ ఆవరణము కూడా విశాలత నొందును.
So the perimeter of our activities expands a little further.
Sairam brother, so what is the word English word that you are going to use for the second instrument? You say intellect or you say rational reason, or what is that best word?
Swami has used the word vicharana, brother. Inquiry.
Yeah, reasoning is better, no?
Reasoning is better.
Rational or reasoning?
Logical thinking also can be used, I think, here. Is it okay?
Logical thinking, yeah. That is reasoning also, no?
Reasoning.
Yeah, Swami has used the word karana also. He has used, people in Telugu, Swami has used the word karana.
రెండవది సకారణ విచార శక్తి.
Sakarana, which is finding the reasons and causes, reasoning. Yes, Sanjay, you raised your hand, please.
No, I see some parallel lines between what Swami has said here, and I think he's probably obviously later on he might come into this. The pramanas that is talked about, the pratyaksha pramana and the anumana pramanas, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Shabda pramana.
Exactly. So it's the limitation in the intellect also is based on, because whatever is gained through knowledge is what is rationally analyzed based on prior experience or inferences. So that also has to have its own limitations. So even rational evaluation will have its own limitations. Though I had one quick question here. Children, when they are born, they are much more in the stage where whatever they perceive through the senses is what is what's used, or what is believed to be correct, what is believed to be the fact. The ability to reason, prior experience doesn't exist. The ability to reason and infer, it doesn't exist. So at what stage, animals, whereas they are born that way and they stay that way, at what stage do humans actually transition from pratyaksha pramana to being able to develop the other things, or how does that happen? Maybe slightly off topic, but I thought I would ask it here.
Okay. Maybe I will just, Sister Shivani has her hand up, so I will let her go first.
I think, no, we can discuss. We just have 5 minutes. I'm just requesting if we can go line by line, just to have a good understanding.
Okay, we will go in detail next.
Next. Okay, perfect.
Sanjay, my understanding is, I think Swami has also spoken about it. Swami has spoken about it in terms of the proof of Punarjanma. So what Swami says is there are children who exhibit certain talents and abilities from childhood, which not all children exhibit. So my understanding is, even when a person is born, the person is born at the level of development which that person has achieved in the previous life. So in that sense, all children are not equally exhibiting the same talents. So there are children who will be able to, that's why you have people, who have started singing compositions at the age of 2 or 3. And there are children who are 2 years, they recognize ragas and can name them. So that means they're reasoning. They're analyzing something. So some of these children, according to their level of development in their previous life, they bring those vasanas into the new world also. So, but not all, but all their vasanas, all their developed abilities may be expressed at a very young age. But we can all see certain tendencies of children, because every child is different. When they start even walking, when they look at things, also they are different. Recently, somebody showed me a little baby who is 2 or 3 years old. When he listens to Om, he's he's not still speaking, but his mouth curls into Om. No sound is coming. So it is pretty interesting to see, the previous vasanas, how they are born and how they bring about. So I thought I will just leave it at that. But, they will also bud and blossom as into greater heights, I think, as they grow up. So I will stop there. If anyone else has something to add, please go ahead.
Psychologists say the around the age of, Kalyani would know that between 7 to 10 or something like that the age, according to the psychologist. Maybe scientific reason also they are for to develop the reasoning capabilities. No, certain muscles development. I don't know, but I am just thinking because psychologists say that around 10 years.
Okay, so Kalyani, some questions on developmental psychology.
I'm sorry, I don't have much to add.
Okay.
Can I just say something? I'm just thinking if I understood, that's why I ask you one by one. I'm just thinking what Bhagawan has said, the reasoning power, right? That human, the second stage, or what should I say? Yeah.
Second instrument.
Yeah, instrument. I'm just thinking, which I think when I come next birth, I'll take care of that. But if we can grow kids, take care of not what you will become, what we would like, provide an environment where this level expand the reasoning, the good and bad, the reflection part. If we can provide that environment to young kids, I'm thinking, oh my God, they will blossom to be a really great sage and saints. Why I'm saying is because I work in an environment where we are seeing a lot of kids between the age of 12 to 17 are in trouble. And when I sit back, look at the history and whatever it is the environment. They don't know, because sometimes they said, I wish I knew that this action will lead into this. And they're so innocent. So I'm just thinking, I mean, as a parent, providing that environment, creating this environment where kids can expand their reasoning level. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, sister. So it's 4:29. Maybe I will just comment on this developmental psychology, because that has been a subject which, for my personal reasons, I have done a lot of reading and research. What they say is within the first 2 years, the child absorbs whatever the child has to absorb. The maximum processing of information happens within the first 2 years. Though, it may not be expressed by word or any action. Even though they are just learning to walk, most of the intellectual absorption in terms of knowledge and information, the maximum takes place in the first 2 years. Is the general scientific thing. If they did not absorb certain things in the first 2 years, it's very, very difficult for them to compensate for that later on in life, is what I've found. But again, it's all Ishvara Prerita Jnana. I will stop here. It's 4:30. If anyone has something to say. Otherwise, we'll close and we'll meet again next week. Thanks for that very nice discussion today. Sairam. We'll close with Samasaloka prayer. Sairam. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam, everyone.
Thank you. Sai Ram.
Sayana.